Hi, I'm Mike Crab.
And I'm Laurie Schultz. Welcome to the show.
We'll have some caffeinated conversation.
And maybe some special guests along the way.
Who knows where the conversation will go? You're out for coffee with Mike and Laurie. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out for Coffee
with Mike and Laurie.
With Mike and Laurie.
Pretty enthusiastic there, Mike. What was that all about?
Well, we kept talking over each other. We were talking over each other leading up to that. So yes. I felt if I throw a little extra personality in there, then I will steamroll over any other talking you might be trying to do in that time.
Oh, you poor misguided soul.
Little did I know.
There's no steamrolling over anything I had to say. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I like your little mug there, Mikey.
Thank you. So I was actually using this in the episode too, where you spilled your coffee, and I did want to mention at that time too, actually.
Rehashing that, huh? Thanks.
Oh, it's coming up every episode.
Yeah,
from here on out, just so you know. And I hope to God that I never screw anything up, because I know you'll just hold it over my head in similar ways.
Oh yes.
This mug here came from a good friend of mine and a longtime listener now who was watching, and she knew that I was having mug issues similar to Alyssa. Was like, here's something for you. Got me a nice mug. And my friend Carol got me this nice little Mike mug. It's a Great Wolf Lodge mug.
Oh.
Great Wolf Lodge type things happening on the mug.
Yes.
I've never been. I will probably never go. Maybe I'll take like my nieces and nephews and stuff, but for now, it's just a Mike mug.
Or you could take your co-host.
Or you and I could go to Great Wolf Lodge. I don't know.
Why not? It's got your name on it there. Is that in case you fall and hit your head or something? You're like,
maybe.
Oh, this is who I am.
It's because she knows that I can't get a word in edgewise with you. So that if I have this, and people know.
People remember who you are.
Who I am.
Because it's not just the Laurie show.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
No, it's getting there. But
not until we have to renegotiate the contracts and Mike gets fired.
But I keep Rob. In the separation agreement, I keep Rob.
Do I get some custody?
No.
Some visitation rights at least?
We'll let him choose.
I don't get any say in this at all. No, apparently not.
Sorry, Rob.
That's all right.
Now, keep in mind, I will welcome you with your Maxwell House.
Why,
with
thank
warm and open arms. Just remember that when you're making
you can have them.
I have my mug here too, but I think my camera is reversed today.
Yeah, what is it? It's a Tim's mug.
It's Tim's mug, yes.
Oh, another reason.
Okay, look at.
And who do you have? Oh, look at there's Uncle Harry.
Uncle Harry just jumped onto.
Oh, the cat.
Yes, he just jumped onto the table, and I have to show you, Uncle Harry has been shaved.
He's got quite the haircut.
Yes, that is quite the haircut.
Yeah.
Holy.
Why'd you shave the cat?
You know what they say? Oh, geez. Goodness.
Rob, I don't know what they say, but I can only imagine where you're going with this.
Yes.
Rob.
Okay.
Rob,
how do you shave
family
a cat?
show, my friend.
How do you shave a cat? Very, very carefully.
Oh, yes. Uncle Harry. See, it's funny when I tell people, we got to shave Uncle Harry on the weekend. I have to qualify it by letting them know that Uncle Harry's a cat. Because I made that mistake once at a restaurant.
Okay.
Uncle Harry, he's orally fixated, this cat. He loves to lick things. So I was telling a friend of mine that, oh man, Uncle Harry, he's such a licker. He licks my face in bed every night. And just as the waitress was handing us stuff, and that whole, when you just drop into a conversation right at the wrong time, she just stopped and kind of looked at me, and I went, oh, yeah, Uncle Harry's a cat. Oh, okay.
That
Otherwise,
changes the context.
Okay,
yeah,
now
get away from me.
Okay.
Get away, Uncle Harry. Go. Get going. Bye. Have a nice day. Anyway, yes. So Uncle Harry lives up to his name and is quite hairy.
Right.
Like I can post a before and after of Uncle Harry for us. Because Harry comes again. Oh, there's a mice on my desk. There's a mouse. I only teach English. It's fine.
Those poor kids.
Yes, there's a mouse. Oh, sorry, he's going to knock my coffee over. Let's not do that.
I was just going to say.
Again, sorry, Harry. He puts stench as well. He's going to bring it back in a second. I know it. But anyway, he is super, super hairy, and he leaves little tumbleweeds all over my house.
Fluff,
Right.
yeah.
And then he gets matted really badly. So a couple of times a year, he gets the shave down. But he's also kind of a jerk, so we have to get him drugged up.
Oh, what do you?
So he was high as a kite this morning. And yeah, he was high, and I had my friend and my niece, and I did some pictures and did some video, and he was loving every second of it. It was probably like just having a giant massage. Right?
How many people does it take to shave?
Get him all shaved down. But he's massively hairy.
Oh, wow.
Well, in this house, it's 3.
And he needed to be shaved because his hair, like, he's not going in for surgery or anything. He just has too much hair and it just needs to be thinned out once in a while.
Yeah, it's his after school haircut. His summertime.
His summertime
Yeah,
haircut.
He had to have his locks shorn.
Wasn't that kind of shave, Mike?
No.
Rob, do you have a
shave
cat?
and a haircut.
Pardon me?
You do. Do you have a cat, Rob?
No, I do not.
No cats to shave. Got it. Do you have any pets? You don't.
No, when the kids were little and lived at home, we had a dog and a cat, and we've had a couple. But no, since the kids are grown and out of the house, my wife and I enjoy the ability to take off when we please and not have to deal with the pets and find somebody to look after them or whatever.
When you did have a dog, what kind of dog did you have?
We had a, what was he? Can't remember now.
What color?
Totally white.
Oh, okay.
Like almost looked like a miniature husky kind of dog.
Oh.
Yeah, but totally white.
With
a curled up tail. Yeah, with a curled up tail and a real pointy nose. And
oh, cute.
the name escapes me, but yeah, it was a great dog. We had him for a long time, but
now you're retired. You don't got time to take care of other people.
You got that right. I am retired, and I don't want to have to deal with what do I do with a pet when we decide to travel.
It can be pretty stressful actually working around your animals.
What about the joys of a litter box?
Yeah, don't miss that. I have to say, thank you very much.
If you get the right dog, it takes care of itself. Actually,
you just need a dog that can flush the toilet, and you're fine.
Oh no, I'll tell you, my idiot dog Meatloaf. I love him, but sometimes I catch him. I'm like, you've been in the litter box because he'll have all these little litter specks all over his lips. What are you lacking in your diet
that you need to dig?
I just keep telling people he's my little archaeologist. He's going on a little dig. It's sometimes
that makes me want to throw up. That's disgusting.
Doesn't it? And then so, Mike, the next time you're over and he tries to lick your face, just remember.
Yeah, just remember.
It smells like shit, not because he was licking you before, but because
remember where that face has been.
It's like, meaty, you need some Listerine.
Well, you talk about dogs that had to, chew and dig and whatnot. I remember when we were kids. We had a dog and just a puppy. And of course they're cute when they're a puppy, but they're a hang of a lot of work. They're a hang of a lot of work to, house break them and all the rest of that. Anyway, we had this puppy. I can remember him just like it was yesterday. I can see him in my, I can just imagine him, a little brown dog. And my mother had just got this, brand new. Oh, there's the cat back. My mother had just
here for a second.
Yeah. My mother had just got this fancy Chesterfield, and it had like these like kind of curved wood legs. Just about 6-inch, 8-inch legs.
Kind of ornate wood legs.
Yeah, kind of ornate wood legs. And so we come home one day, and the dog has been lying on its side, chewing at the legs of this couch. And my mother was absolutely furious. So I remember my dad tipped the couch up on his face, took the front legs off where the dog had chewed them and put them on the back.
Right.
Took the back legs off, put them on the front. And it worked.
I bet.
Shortly thereafter, I remember getting up one morning, and my dad, working shift work, had to quite often went out early in the morning, and we got up one morning and the dog was gone. And this is when we're kids. And Dad said, yeah, I got up to go to work and the dog just slipped out the door and I couldn't go after it. I had to get to work. So the dog's gone.
Oh no.
And he just run away. And of course we were devastated, but thinking back, I can remember the look on my parents' face when they met eyes. They're kind of like, yeah, you ran away. Yeah.
They knew what was up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He didn't really run away.
Oh, that they had enough.
My mother put short end to that.
Oh, Laurie,
I
Uncle
tell you a
Harry,
quick?
Uncle Harry looks ridiculous because he looks like he's wearing a turtleneck right now, and he's biting your finger.
It's kind of like,
I know. I told you he's orally fixated. He has to have something in his mouth. It's usually me. Yeah, he's going to join us for this episode, apparently.
All right.
it's all right.
He's really taking us in, it looks like.
Can I tell you something about very similar? I know we were going to talk about something else, but this kind of reminds me of something, Robin. You're saying that your parents got rid of this dog and told you something else.
Yes.
I had a bird growing up. When I was probably kindergarten, I got a budgie, and his name was Tickletail. I got to name him.
That's a good name. I like that.
Tickletail. Well, because when he would sit on his little perch, and if he was sitting close enough to the bars, his tail would come through the bars, and I'd tickle it. So his name was Tickletail.
I like it.
So one day while I was at school, apparently Tickletail expired.
Oh no.
And not of his own volition. Like nature was trying to take its course. Tickletail apparently was suffering at the bottom of his cage and not doing well.
Aww.
So what my dad did, now keep in mind this was a long time ago,
Right.
when people took things into their own hands, and I mean it's literally at this point.
Okay.
While I was at school, Dad took Tickletail outside, out to the garage, or to the backyard facing the garage, kind of wound up for the pitch.
A bit of an oldie. Oh no.
Yeah. So Tickletail met his ultimate demise on the side of the garage wall. But it was to put him out of his suffering, okay? All right, let's not be calling PETA or anything like this. This was almost 40 years ago, okay? And also, Dad's been dead for 5 years, so good luck. Anyway.
Hold him accountable.
That's right. So, but what he did was he left the bird on the back step for me to show me his handiwork, his literal handiwork.
That's nice and traumatizing.
No. Right? So another piece of the puzzle is falling into place. No, so my mom's like, no, we're not going to show her the dead bird. So they disposed of Tickletail, put the cage in the garage, and by the time I got home from school, Mom was like, I have some bad news, is that Tickletail died. And I'm like, yeah, you're so full of it, Mom. There's no way he's dead. This is a prank. I was assuming it was a prank. Like, who pranks their five? Anyway, I did not take well. I was looking all over the house, flipping out for where the heck is this bird? And I got out to the garage and they showed me his empty cage. And I'm like, So fast forward, we go to Woolco.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Woolco. It was a place called Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark Pet Store somewhere in London.
Okay. And
I remember my dad and my mom and I walking in. My brother must have been there too, but who knows? Maybe he was at a sitter. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we walk in and my dad says to the woman, hey, do you have any budgies named Tickletail here? Right. And the woman says,
little wink,
yes, we do. Yes, come to the back. So we went to the back, found the bird cage. There's Tickletail 2. It was Tickletail number 2. So I get Tickletail 2.
Right.
Pretty exciting, right?
Yeah.
So, but then we found out that we both developed some allergies.
Oh.
I've tried to have a bird since. Didn't work out so well. That's another story.
I remember.
Yeah. So we had to get rid of Tickletail number 2. So we gave him to my grandma, who lived in Kitchener. And Grandma loved birds, and Grandma had fish and birds. Grandma called her pets. Her birds were always Birdie, Birdie, and Birdie.
Very original. I love it.
Were Fishy and Fishy. So I figured I had to go to the other.
Oh, Laurie, we're choppy.
And just be ridiculous with names. Anyway, how about now?
We're back. We're back in. We're back.
Okay, so Tickletail number 2, bottom line, stayed with Grandma.
Right.
Grandma used to bring the cage outside so Tickletail could get some fresh air.
Right.
One day, Mom says to me, you know what? Tickletail is going to have babies. So Tickletail has to go back to a pet store and raise her babies. And I'm thinking, well, that's interesting because I always thought Tickletail was a boy, but whatever.
Okay.
Mom, can we have these babies? And Mom said, no, you remember the allergies and Grandma's too old to take care of bird babies. So Tickletail has to go back. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I don't know how old I was. Probably 9,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah.
Fast forward to me being 15 years old. I'm in the car, I don't know what it was, but he said, yeah, and you kids were so dumb. You believed that whole story about Tickletail going back to have babies. And I'm like,
Wait a minute.
hold up. What? And he said, yeah, when your bird died a second time and we told you it had babies. I'm like, what? What? And he said, yeah, didn't your mother ever tell you? And I said, no. I was 15 years old and believed to that day that Tickletail went back to the pet store to have babies.
Oh.
And y'all wonder why I've got these trust issues. It's the
This whole time I
chocolate
thought
chip
I did
cookies.
something wrong.
It's the chocolate chip cookies that look like, well, they're
Oatmeal
the
raisin.
oatmeal
Oatmeal
cookies that
raisin,
look like
that-
chocolate chip, right? The
Trust
oatmeal
issues.
raisin that look like chocolate chip. That's where it started. And then it ended up being with the Tickletail thing. I can't trust anybody.
You can't.
Mhm. It's like the X-Files. Trust no one.
Wait, is that the X-Files? I thought the truth is
Yeah.
out there is the X-Files.
Oh,
Which is
maybe it
still
is.
rings kind of true to this. The truth
truth
was
is
out
out there,
there. You
but
didn't
trust
know
no
it.
one. How traumatizing. But you know what? Dad said I really had a hard time, such a hard time with the first bird death
Right.
that they
couldn't
felt
do
they had no other choice but to try and save my poor little soul from more heartache and despair.
That's tough. I gotta say, I hate birds. There's not a redeeming quality to a bird I've met in my life where I'm like, hey, that bird's neat. I want to get closer to it.
Have you seen any of the bird videos on YouTube? Where like the parrots are talking
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're cool. I don't want to touch them. Like I'm afraid of birds. Tickletail was okay when I was
We'll
a
have
kid.
to find the video. You had a video of you at the pet store with a bird. What was that bird's name?
It was Nellie. I will find Nellie at Pet Value in Woodstock, the sun conure. I am not a big fan of birds, and Nellie just one day hopped onto me, and then she was on me, and I was like, "Oh, the bird is on me! Oh my god!" And she was like, "Oh, hello, hello," or I don't know if she was talking, but in bird language, she was saying
Right.
something to me. I can
Right.
be sure.
I'm going to
She's
murder
trying
you.
to pick stuff off my face. I'm like, "What is happening?" Yeah. So I do have that on video somewhere. That actually got something like 2,000 views.
Oh,
On
you
Facebook.
got some attention with that one, right?
I did because I'm horrified by birds. So I tried to get my own a few years ago. And this bird, her name was Lola.
Yeah.
She has since gone to live with my friend Angie
Oh.
in Norwich. And I had Lola for a week. I was trying to combat my fear of birds. And Lola already knew how to talk.
Right.
Do you know what this bird told me?
What?
This sounds, once again, I'm not a psychopath, but this bird was talking to me, right? And this bird actually did speak. The only thing she would say is gotcha and watch your back.
So this bird's right up your alley.
So I'm scared to death of birds, and this bird's like, watch your back. This bird's threatening me in my own home. Out. No, actually, she tried to kill me. Not on purpose, but my asthma was so bad after a week with this bird. She almost killed me, so she
Lola
had to.
needed to migrate to Norwich.
Her name was Lola. She went to Norwich. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
All right, shifting gears for a second here. We, on our last episode, we were talking about the Oyster House in Boston that I went to and how I sat next to George Washington's table. It's a very old restaurant. Okay.
Mike was not a very good history
student.
student.
This is why I never did good in history. So I will admit, I did a little Google and I found the plaque that I was talking about that was put nicely on this table. And as I'm reading it, to our audience, I'll let you know I was on the line with Rob and Laurie as I was reading this. And it's not at all George Washington. It was John F. Kennedy in the 70s. Loved this booth. So maybe a couple years off. Maybe. I don't know.
In the 70s?
Not the
Wait
1870s.
John F. Kennedy loved the booth in the 70s?
Oh, maybe I misread it. Maybe it was the 60s. When did he die? Guys, I'm not doing
give
any
us a
justice for my intellectual abilities to
Mikey.
remember history dates. But okay, well, we're gonna find out when he died. But this still left us with the question of how George Washington died.
Did.
Rob, what did you find out about our friend George Washington and his demise?
Well, yes, when we first thought that the booth belonged to George Washington, I did do a little research to find out that George Washington died, it says here, according to these mountvernon.org website, of acute bacterial epiglottitis. So,
Oh, that sounds like a fancy way to go. Is that an STD?
I don't believe so.
In the throat?
However, that
was
was
he very itchy before he died?
That was in 1799, so that's a
So
little
my
bit
dates
off.
are way off. My
A
dates
little
are
bit
way
off. From
That is
JFK.
one old oyster house you got going there, Mike.
I was going to say that's been around for a while.
Oh, that's so
No,
embarrassing.
that
Is it?
I have some learning to do.
would not.
This kid's gonna learn.
Yeah, that's. I don't think your timeline matches up there, Mikey.
Well, you know what? You know what's really important out of all this is that I learned. All right,
Yeah,
I might
true.
have not had the right answers anywhere near them,
That's
but
true.
now I have learned a little bit more about George Washington. I'm still choosing to believe that's an STD he died of, and that will forever stay ingrained in my brain.
I wouldn't be doing any excessive daily doubles on Jeopardy, okay?
Oh, I
Don't
can't
be
do
bad.
Jeopardy at all. At all.
Don't be betting all the winnings.
I pray to God I don't get the double Jeopardy or the daily double.
I'll take dead presidents for 1,000, Alex, or whoever it is now.
Yeah. Oh, Alex. We miss Alex. Anyways, so now we know a little bit
I liked
more
him.
about the Oyster House in Boston, John F. Kennedy's love for the Oyster House, and a little
In the
separate news
60s.
about George Washington.
Yeah.
Brought that up. I'm glad we brought that
Yeah,
up.
that would be the 1960s, not the 1760s.
Yeah,
Correct.
A little different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just off a smidgen.
yeah,
It was
just
cold by the
just
time it got to the
just a little. Yeah, 200 years. That's give or take.
Well, Rob, I'm really glad you did the research for us.
No problem at all.
We might call on your support in the future for
You betcha.
finding some tidbits as we go along, so I can be embarrassed in real time as opposed to in a completely different episode.
Our new research department.
There you go.
Well, we were talking too about how
One-man
after-
research department.
after we talked about Salem last episode, how we see that as a really fun opportunity when the World War opens up. Maybe we can take a little road trip down, us friends, maybe record an episode or two in Salem. We could talk about some local history. We can do some research. We can visit some museums.
My heart
I'll
is
drag
fluttering just
I'll drag
thinking about
Alyssa
it.
with me. We can have a really good time with that. So, hey, I say let's talk about other things we can do when the world opens up. I want to go on vacation. That's 100% something I want to do. And thinking about those days in Salem, I think that's something we can do ourselves. But like when I think about it, my childhood, like we weren't a big vacation family. We would take road trips every summer. We would go do things. But like, did you ever go on like a proper get on a plane and go on vacation anywhere as a kid, Laurie? No, right?
I wasn't on an airplane until I was in my 20s. First time.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I was. The first time I went on an airplane was with my friend Amy, and we were going out to Nova Scotia. And that was in high school. I think I was in grade 11 or 12, probably grade 12. And I also remember I had set up the vacation, and then I realized that I misread my schedule for my exams. And I was leaving on, let's say, the Monday, and I had an exam on the Tuesday. And I went,
Oh, no.
And it wasn't refundable. It was nothing. So my teacher, Miss Greaves, she was lovely. Miss Greaves was a wonderful math teacher, and she allowed me to take my exam early so I could do that. And I'll never forget that. I still probably failed, but I'll never forget her generosity and allowing me to do that. But that was the first time I ever took an airplane. And here's the thing. I am terrified of heights.
Oh.
I can't do it. List that as one of my top fears. Heights weirds me out. So I couldn't sit next to the window when I took the airplane, but like, I'm also curious. So like, I did want to see, and I will say it really wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be to fly in an airplane. But when it does come to heights, I have this weird thing where I can be up high. So let's say I'm CN Tower. There you go. Go visit the CN Tower. I can go, can't get too close to the edge. Definitely can't do the glass floor. But like I can look over the edge and I can look down. That's not a problem. Where my heights issues come in is when, if I'm up high, I can't look higher than the horizon. Like if I look up, if I put my eyes up at all, like if I looked at an airplane while I'm up high, it weirds me out and I get all like queasy need. So are you afraid of heights?
Throws off your center of gravity, I guess.
Like,
maybe.
I'm assuming I'm plummeting to my death right now when I'm looking at this airplane because I can't see the ground.
Am I afraid of heights? Was your question?
Yeah.
I think we both know that I am.
Yeah.
What about me makes you think that I'm not?
Well, there's a lot of anomalies about you that don't make sense, and not being afraid of heights doesn't make sense. So I would think that maybe that's a possibility.
I told you my story, didn't I, about the Statue of Liberty? I had to climb up it.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on the podcast, though.
Oh, I don't know when that would have been. Anyway, had to climb up that thing, and it was only one way. Right. If it was on the podcast, here's a recap. If it wasn't, here's some new information. Spiral staircase all the way up, and it's open, right? Or at least it was. This was pre 9/11.
Right.
So open, and as you're going up, if you look over the side, you're looking all the way down to the ground, and then it crosses at the crown,
right?
And then you go down, and spiral staircase again, all open. Right. And my center of gravity was like, no, this isn't happening. Right. So I had to sit and scooch down on my bum the whole way down.
Okay.
With thousands of New Yorkers behind me hurling expletives.
Well, I'm pretty sure very few of them were actually New York natives because
Possibly
I don't think they spend their weekends hanging out at the Statue of Liberty. I doubt.
Well, then these were just a bunch of tourists who were not having it.
Well, in all fairness, I would really have a difficult time coming down the stairs because you have to inevitably look down as you're going down them. And like, I think that having to coordinate my feet while I do that, I think if I was to stand there and look down, I'd be okay. But if I have to coordinate my feet as I do that, I feel like a bum scooch would probably be my
In a spiral staircase?
Yeah.
My brain was just ready to go. Couldn't do it.
All right. Well, I guess heights is not something that's going to make... Well, maybe we'll do something heightsy together one day just to get Laurie's reaction.
Trains. Automobiles.
Wait, what?
Great movie.
Okay.
I was just talking about being on a plane.
Right.
Me, I am not a good flyer. This may shock you.
Okay.
You may be, what? That can't be. No, it be. I am not a good flyer. I am let's take a little Xanax or something before the plane.
Right.
And then where are they busting out that damn drink cart? Bust it out.
Lighten the load a bit for you.
Because, any little move, any tiny little, I'm like, we're going to crash. Oh my God, we're going, is that a mountain? Are we going to crash? Mountain. It's the mountain. Oh my God. Like, I've seen the Patsy Cline story. I've seen the Buddy Holly story. I watched La Bamba. I know how this is all going down. Okay.
And it's going down.
I better be nice and distracted. Oh, so we're probably driving to Salem, I guess, right? Unless you want to be witness to this. I don't know. When I went to Newfoundland, it was not, that was the longest plane ride I've had. It was like the 2.5 hours to Newfoundland. Right. So I'm not going to Australia, probably not going to Europe ever, unless I'm sailing on the Mayflower 2.0. I don't know. But let's just put it this way. I don't travel well.
You don't travel well.
You get yourself a nice little hammer and you knock me out. No, you knock me out and you let me know when we're there. Done.
I feel like you're not much of a long distance car. Like I feel like you would be prone to car sickness too. I don't know why, but I feel that about you.
Let's have some tunes. If I can be in charge of the playlist.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be okay. If we can stop maybe every 5 hours so I can have a whiz.
Okay.
We're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I can have the window down or the air on, we'll be okay.
Okay, you need some sort of control is what you're saying.
Surprise.
I love a good drive down to Salem. Yeah, Salem's quite a hike. What is it, 12 hours? Maybe not that long. I don't remember. I've only done it a couple times. But I do like a mean car karaoke session. That really makes time fly. I love car singing. I will do it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. When you're in my car, if we're going on a road trip, you have just entered a 3-hour concert featuring me. You can open up. You can be the opening act if you want.
Oh,
But the rest of the trip, is
Do you have a specific
this
theme
guy.
of car singing you like doing? Or are you up for anything
Whatever.
as long as you know the words?
Listen, my playlists would probably rival no other when it comes to the type of music, and you're not going to find, how do I put this? You're going to have some AC/DC.
Right.
Alongside the next tune is maybe a bluegrass tune. The next
Okay.
you might have some classical cello piece come up next.
Right.
Then we're going to have maybe the
Oh, you're getting a little choppy, Laurie.
Four Seasons.
Oh, the Four Seasons.
Little Frankie Valli and Jesus. How about now? Four Seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, Frankie Valli, Four Seasons. Some Elvis, Buddy Holly, and Patsy Cline. But then you might have some, I don't know, something new. So
you're literally saying every type of music that exists.
Pretty much.
What type of music will I never find on your iPod?
You will not find any rap on my iPod.
Okay.
Ever. You're probably not going to find a lot of country.
Right.
Old country.
Like what's
old time country?
What's old time country
maybe.
to you though?
Like I'm talking some like George Jones.
I don't even know
we're
who she
talking
is.
like old time. That's a guy.
I know, I'm just kidding. I think that you and I actually have quite similar tastes in music. You're really liking here. I'm going to jump in, Laurie. I think you and I actually have a lot of very similar tastes in music, actually, because like the extent of my country music is like Shania Twain. There's no way the power I feel when Shania Twain says, "Let's go, girls." Like I could kick a door in. I'm ready to party whenever I hear Shania Twain say, "Let's go, girls." It's go time. We're partying.
I am not a fan.
Oh no! Oh, she's so lovely. I think that's mostly into as far as country as I can get.
Is she?
Rap. I do have some Eminem, but I'm not big on rap music. I'm not against it. It's just there's not anything where I'm like I gotta have that on my list. But I do have a nice smattering of other genres. So I think you and I could have a nice car karaoke roulette going on where we're just
a schmear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have
like
to do
there's
a road
so
trip.
much. I have so many different artists on my. We should do a road trip. Just real quick here. I'm looking at some of the artists on my playlist: AC/DC, Adele, Al Green, Alice Cooper, Alison Krauss, Ashley McIsaac. Remember Ashley McIsaac, the fiddle player from Odie's?
Yeah. How about you pick
Annie
somebody?
Lennox.
That's a lot of A's. Swipe. Here's the thing. Do 2 swipes and then stop your finger and tell me what you land on. Or
have the Everly Brothers.
Okay.
Foreigner, Frank Sinatra, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Another 2 swipes. We're going to look up and we've got Katie Lang, Justin Timberlake, Kenny Rogers.
All right.
Linda Ronstadt, the Mamas and the Papas.
Hey, the
Marilyn
Mamas and the
Manson.
Papas. Which Marilyn? Hold on.
Who
what
gets
Marilyn
the
Manson
Mamas and the Papas?
What Marilyn Manson song do you have?
It's the Sweet Dreams. His take on the Annie Lennox. Yeah. Because that's on my Halloween playlist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. Hey,
yeah.
hold on. I'm
I got
interrupting.
the Nylon.
Oh, they're the
Ozzy Osbourne.
So, Laurie, are you looking on Spotify?
Yes.
So, did you notice the other
No,
day?
I'm looking at all the music I've downloaded from iTunes.
Oh, from iTunes. So on Spotify, I have my Spotify up right now. There's a find out how you listen thing that popped up the other day. Which artist, songs, and podcasts set you apart.
Yeah.
So I click on that, and it gives you kind of like a little personalized, like this is how you listen to music, because it says like who else but you would play Beyonce after Chilliwack, or you listen to music from 2004, 1958, and 2021 all in one session, and it's kind of what we're doing here in a way, where it's kind of like gives you a little snapshot of how weirdly we all listen to music. Kind of interesting
because I am not a genre fan per per se. I'm a song fan.
You like this? Are you well, I guess it's probably both, but the music, obviously. But like, are you there for the story that they're telling?
Sometimes, depending on the song.
Right.
Like what was that song? It's all when you say a story song, I always think about it. The El Paso song. Was it Marty
Down in
Robbins?
West Texas, a town in El
Out
Paso.
in the West Texas town of El Paso.
It just reminds me of
that's
El
a
Paso
story song.
taco seasoning.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was
you
in a
have to eat
commercial.
those tacos while you're listening to that song. Yeah, and then you're at the nexus of the universe.
Throw in a little Margaritaville after, and we're good to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are singing the song of my people.
So now all we know is that I'm very curious. I want to listen to your playlist on shuffle. I want to go for a drive with you and see what ensues, because I think we could have some good chuckles with a sing along. We'll go up to Lucan or something.
I think maybe some carpool karaoke.
Yeah.
Some carpool karaoke in the vehicle with our little dash cam, singing some songs. Maybe we can have Rob tag along, sit in the back.
Yeah, he's in the trunk, and we can
between the seats.
Yeah.
Well, listen. It doesn't have to be in the trunk.
No.
There's far too many bodies in there already.
Oh my God. So have you taken
what?
Have you, so as a kid, did you guys didn't go on regular road trips or anything like that?
Not really. No, we would go on vacations every once in a while to Turkey Point for a few days.
Yeah, that's nice.
And stay at the was it the Windjammer Motel?
Ooh.
There was a motel right on the beach. It was a white motel, and we would stay there. And I have lots of fond beach memories. Turkey Point has changed quite a bit since those days. I took a drive last summer down there, and I could not believe how much it has changed, yet how much it is still the same. Can the duality exist?
Right.
Apparently it can.
Hold on, I got
yeah.
There we go.
But there was an old couple who owned the motel. Their names were Win and Vera. And we would go down there and have breakfast in
we're getting a
the
little
motel. And there was an arcade right beside before you go. It reminds me of Turkey Point because that was out. It was hot.
That was the
It was
song?
like top 40 at the time when my brother and I would go next door to the arcade and play some Pac-Man.
Right.
And it was always being played in there. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. We never really went to Turkey Point. My family's not like a beach family. I remember my dad saying that when he was a kid, my grandparents would like drag them every summer to Port Burwell, I think it was. And they would be out sitting on the beach all day. They would come home and they were like toasted, and my dad would be so dehydrated that he would be like sucking water out of a washcloth because it was such a long, hot, dehydrated day. And so
that
they were like
image.
when we were,
I can almost feel that in my mouth.
Right. So when we were young, my parents were like about beaches. They weren't really big on it. So we would often go to Grand Bend because there's kind of like shopping in a way. They had a really cool arcade in Grand Bend that I remember going to a lot as my brother playing air hockey. And also my my aunt and uncle have a cottage in Port Franks, which is just a short drive away from Grand Bend. And so we would often go to their cottage, have a nice time, and then we'd spend like an afternoon in Grand Bend.
Nice.
But not really much at the beach. So we were more like a car, like a road trip kind of family. We would do day trips. So I remember it would be like a summer day and my dad's like, hey, you want to go get ice cream? Yeah, I want to go get ice cream. But like ice cream would be like 3 hours away. Like if we weren't going to Dairy Queen, we were going to like, I don't know, Stony Creek ice cream or something like that. And looking back, I'm like really glad that we had all those road trips where we got to
That's fun.
Go eat foreign ice cream from far off lands. And we'd spend a lot of time in the car. So we'd listen to lots of music, lots of 80s music. So those when I go for drives now, I like to kind of have a little reflect back and have a little soundtrack made for car rides from younger days.
My road tripping now, for probably the last 20 years, actually, I've been going up to Southampton
Yeah.
And I would go up there every summer and spend a few days. My Aunt Barb and Uncle Harold live up in Southampton year round. And so
Oh.
I would go, it's part of my summer ritual to how to play
Right.
cribbage up there. Cribbage, I am a math dunce, but I seem to be pretty good at cribbage.
Oh.
And that used to just make my dad so mad. Oh my God.
Oh wait, I have a bit of a stupid question. Cribbage, is that the one where you're flicking the things in the middle, or is that the one with the pegs?
That's the pegs.
Okay, what's the one where you slide the thing in the middle?
Crokinole.
Thank you. I was mixing up the two.
Yeah.
Oh.
Crokinole, we played at Grandma's house. Cribbage,
Right.
I played at Barb's house. Yeah. And but it's a math card game, right?
Right.
You got to know your times tables, and you have to know how to add. I'm a math idiot. I am not a math teacher at all. So that's why it would make my dad so angry when he would lose to me playing cribbage. It was just like the worst insult to him to lose a cribbage game to me. Oh, he would literally be so angry. It was great.
I don't know if I've ever played cribbage, to be honest.
I'll teach you.
Okay, I'd like that. Kevin got this like from a promotional company at his work that makes the t-shirts and stuff. They brought them gift baskets as like a thank you for their business. And Kevin got one and it was like, a t-shirt and some puzzles and stuff. And it came with a cribbage board. So it's actually sitting out because he's never played either. We've always really, really wanted to play.
I love cribbage.
Yeah. Crokinole reminds me though, on the topic of Crokinole, I remember playing that. My friend Kaylin and Lauren, they have a cottage up in Bancroft. And so we used to go up to Bancroft quite a bit in my high school years, and they had Crokinole there. And I remember whenever I think of Crokinole, it's in their beautiful cottage up there.
Nice.
Those are some good days. So that's a cottage game for me, which kind of goes back into, going to my cousin's cottage in Port Franks and stuff like that. So I did a lot of road trips and stuff. I didn't go on an airplane till later. You've never been to like the Caribbean or anything then?
No, I've been to New York City twice.
Right.
That was a bus trip once on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
The very first time I was on a plane was to New York.
Right.
And I've been to Philadelphia, and that was a bus trip. These were high school trips.
Okay.
Well, no, that's not true either. New York was college when we were talking to Liz that time.
Yeah.
When Liz was our guest, yes. And then a trip to Philadelphia, where I went to a pretzel museum.
Oh. Is that a thing? I've never heard of the pretzel museum in Philadelphia.
The pretzel was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Are we talking soft pretzels or are we talking traditional tabletop party pretzels? No,
like a big pretzel.
Yeah.
So we had a pretzel demonstration. We were all lined up at the really long pretzel table, and we were flipping our dough, and we all made our own little pretzels.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to see the Liberty Bell. Went to the Mutter Museum is in Philadelphia.
What's the Mutter Museum?
It is the Museum of Medical Anomalies.
Oh, wait, Mutter?
Over that.
Like hello mother, hello fodder?
Mutter, Mutter, with is it the umlaut? Is that the two? Is that what that's called? The two dots above the umlaut. So it's the Mutter Museum.
That's a name.
And I saw like a 10-foot colon. Top that.
Come again, a 10-foot colon?
A 10-foot colon. Yeah, it was. Or was it a 35-foot colon? It was a huge colon.
That's
anyway, it was all
10. I thought was excessive. 35 feet.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's longer than my apartment.
It was a huge colon. Then they had the soap lady. She's encased in a glass sarcophagus.
Okay.
Maybe is that the word I'm thinking of? Like a glass coffin, and she is. She's a corpse, but she's wax. She's like turned into soap, and apparently she was left out in the elements. She died some natural thing, I guess, and she was a very large woman, and the way the elements just made her decompose, she turned into almost like she would lather up. She's like soap.
That's
cool.
Disturbing. I'm into it.
Cool. I should probably find some pictures of the museum. There were like skeletons, like baby skeletons in jars. There was a whole wall of pink eye. Anything you ever want to know about pink eye? There was just like, people with horns. It was like Ripley's, believe it or not, but a medical, like backed by science. It was really awesome.
Interesting. The Mutter Museum.
Yeah.
It's funny you say Ripley's Believe It or Not, because a lot of our summers were road trips to Niagara Falls because it was close enough that you felt like it was easy to go there and spend the day there and make it home by bedtime kind of thing, but far enough away where you actually felt like you spent the day out of town doing something interesting. And I loved going to Ripley's Believe It or Not because there was always like a spooky section of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I never did good with haunted houses and stuff as a kid. Like I would be scared shitless going into that section. There wasn't anything there that was actually scary.
No.
But the ambiance they said going into those rooms is like really creepy. But we spent every summer, even still now, we will go at least once to Niagara Falls.
Road trip.
And I love it because one of the things that we've done, this is probably over the last 10 years, we always go, me, Kevin, and my parents, at least. Sometimes my brother and sister and niece and nephew come along too, but it's always at least the four of us. And we always go to the Midway, which is where, you know, you put in the tokens and then you can win the tickets, and you then cash your tickets in for like erasers, and there's like lamps that are like 50,000 tokens or tickets, and you're like, you know, you're never going to get it. We love to go. We call it the Kiddie Casino, and we go and we gamble our money at the Kiddie Casino. And here's the thing is that we always make it a game. So we're always like, we all have the same amount of tokens, and then we all go play our games, and then we come back and we see who won the most tickets. And then that person gets bragging rights. I must say I'm quite frequently the winner. And one thing that I really love about this little family tradition that we do is that usually it's a summer day and there's lots of families around and stuff like that. And when you go up to buy something from cash in your tickets to buy your erasers and bracelets and stuff, there's kids there and they got, you know, they're like 50 tickets and they're like really trying to decide how they want to divvy those up to get the most things possible. You don't use your tickets. There's nothing I need as a grown man behind this glass case of wonders. So whoever the winning person is who has the most tickets, they get all the tickets, and then we give it to a family. Usually they have a couple kids and we let the kids spend it. So it's kind of like
you're like the Oprah of the Kiddie Casino.
You get tickets and you get tickets. But I want my eraser. I'm cashing at least 20 of those tickets for my eraser to lose between the car seat on the way home.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I really do. And that would be fun for us to go to the Kiddie Casino. I want to see you swing the hammer, Laurie.
The whack-a-mole?
I was going to say the big, what do you call the one where you swing the hammer and it shoots the thing up and hits the bell?
I'm weak.
I want to see it still.
Do you know what? I am so weak. I've got 3 bags of salt in my driveway for my water softener.
That aren't ever coming in?
They're never coming in unless I just open it up and take, you know, glass by glass down to the water softener. It's so heavy. It says 41 pounds.
Yeah, it's probably because it's 41 pounds. Do you need me to come over and help you carry those down? Okay, all you have to do is say the word. I'll come over.
Word.
That's
I need help. Sloan took my friend Sloan.
Oh no.
Strong arms, you know, with the pecs and all.
I have no idea. You cut over a second. You said Sloan, and then it cut to you talking about your pecs and flexing for us.
You would think they'd be big, strong arms.
Right. You would think. No. You're just, we can push you over, no problem.
Tickets to the gun show. Yeah. I'm a little squishier than most. Anyway, so yeah, I have to do it in stages when I put my water softener salt in. I'm so weak.
Well, we can work on that. We'll get you.
Can we?
But this water softener stuff is that what's making your tap water taste? Or
no.
I mean, that's a different thing. I hate the taste of your water. We've discussed.
I know. There's something wrong with you because it's actually delicious, purified, wonderful, delicious water.
Okay, just because you keep calling it delicious doesn't mean.
Rob's giving us Rob's reeling us in here. What's going on, Rob?
What,
are we overtime?
Have we not hit the sweet spot of this when we're talking about water softeners? That's not the sweet spot of the podcast.
Rob's giving us the timeout.
But
Rob, do you need in on this conversation?
We're over 50 minutes, and we've talked about nothing.
How can we be over 50 minutes? This isn't possible.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up for today, folks.
I think we
Oh my
are.
God.
Well, I think we've learned some things together today, friends.
I think so.
We've learned that
This has been a good-
JFK was not around in the 1700s.
No.
We also know that George Washington was not around in the 1970s.
Neither was JFK.
we learned that Laurie needs to work on her upper body strength.
And
learned
she probably needs a help with that salt.
Yeah.
Rob, we can go over there.
One of
We'll
us
help
better
her-
pop over there.
We'll help her load her salt out.
Offer a helping hand.
I love you, boys.
We
Yeah,
love
yeah.
you too, Laurie.
Aw.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week. We had a good time talking about nothing today. I love it. And share with us on your social media how much you enjoyed today's episode. And
And we hope to be in person soon.
We
We
really
do hope to be in person soon.
We do
It
think that
looks like
coming up.
it's going to happen. It is going to happen.
And here's the thing: we got some really exciting guests on the back burner here
We
that we are
do.
excited to
We
introduce to you
do.
guys. Some of them have some wonderful talents that they can share. But until then, you might see us a little bit more on Zoom. We don't really know what's coming next. We got to take this all a bit a day at a time. But what we know is that we got a couple solid episodes out. We haven't spilled coffee yet.
I am holding on to this for dear life right now.
Uncle Harry's gone and he didn't knock it over. So that's a
Uncle
good sign.
Harry, the cat, Uncle Harry.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. It was good hanging out with you guys, and we look forward to doing it again too. So until then, thank you all very much for joining us out for coffee.
With Mike and Laurie.
Later, folks.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Do you have questions, comments, or ideas for a future show? Reach out to Mike and Laurie on their social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email us at mikeandlauriesocials@gmail.com.